Every child that has nothing deserves something, and that something is a family. I was adopted when I was 3 months old to Willie Sr. and Flora Moore. I tell you what, everything that I am after God, I owe it all to Willie J. and Flora Moore. My mother's from Louisiana, my dad is from Mississippi, and I call myself Willie Moore Jr. because, you know, Willie Moore Sr. is such a great man, and I just pray that I can be half the man that he is, and I just thank God for my parents. But right now, it's 108,000 kids in foster care who are looking for homes. And I feel like nobody is being a voice to those kids who sit there every single day praying that they get into a stable home. And I don't think that's fair. So I've decided to be the voice for every kid in foster care and make sure the world knows that adoption is an option. Your parents may not have wanted you, or they may not have been able to do the right thing, or they fell in love with a certain habit, that you were not a mistake. And I'm a living witness on the other side of this thing that God can do the unthinkable with anybody. He can take damaged goods and put it together, and for his glory, he can use you. Like, I'm just a little dude from St. Louis, Missouri who trusted God and everything. I'm transparent enough to tell you that, you know, it was tough when my mother told me she didn't want to meet me. But instead of me wallowing in my pain, I'm playing this thing forward and making sure the world knows that, you know, adoption is an option. Kids need a home, and we got to get involved. Flat out.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome to the stage tonight's Master of Ceremonies, Willie Moore Jr.
Check, 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 check. Family, you can do better than that. Make some noise if you are excited to be here tonight. Yeah, I feel the energy in the room. I feel the energy in the room. Indeed. So family, listen. Tonight is going to be an amazing night. And I'm so excited to be here because I have never been in a room where so many people were passionate about adoption and foster care. So can we do this? Can you give yourself a round of applause for me real quick? Yeah, that's good. That's good. So, honestly, I know many of you all have no idea who I am. But the good news is I have no idea who you are either, right? And so, but the good thing is we all have a heart for children across this country. For those of you who are unaware, my name is Willie Moore Jr. I'm Willie Moore Sr. and Flora Moore's only boy. They adopted me when I was 3 months old. Today, my dad, yeah, go ahead. You can give him a round of applause. I love him to life. Yeah. Indeed. So I was raised by 2 sharecroppers, one from Mississippi, one from Louisiana, and my mother, she couldn't have children. And it was an amazing doctor who told her about the option of adoption. And she ended up adopting me at 3 months old. And I tell you, after God, everything that I am today, I owe it to my mother and my father and the sacrifice they made. And so if you're in here today, one of our angels, I just want to let you know that I salute you and I honor you, because you will never know the long-term benefit of your sacrifice on your child and even your giving. So I honor you tonight, and we're going to celebrate you guys tonight, and we honor and appreciate you. Real talk, yeah. So we have a great night planned for you as we honor all our angels and adoption honorees who are doing amazing work in adoption and foster care. Tonight is about you, angels. We are here to celebrate all you have already accomplished and encourage you to keep fighting for children in need of a safe, permanent, loving family in our communities and all around the world. Among the guests gathered here tonight to help us celebrate all the 17 angels and adoption honorees are their friends, family, members of Congress, alumni of the Angels in Adoption and Foster Youth Intern programs, dedicated advocates from both the public and private sectors, and many of friends of CCAI. What a powerful group of people. Can we show some love to CCAI? Now, this organization is celebrating 19 years of service. Some of us can't stay in one room for 19 minutes. So I think we need to give them a round of applause, right? So today I had the honor of meeting with some amazing senators. And as I'm sitting in the room, I realized that every person in the room shared one common goal. They wanted to see this country better, and they wanted to see children who had nothing, who deserved something. And that something is a family. And as I'm sitting there, I'm like, oh my God, like usually as I travel the country and I'm speaking about adoption, everybody's so intrigued. They're like, oh my God, this is so amazing. Like, you're so passionate, but they don't understand what we go through, and they don't understand what you go through. So today I shared a story. Someone else shared a story. Like, I'm from St. Louis, Missouri. My diploma read Ferguson Florissant School District. I don't cry as much as I've cried in the last 4 hours. And I would have cried more, but at the time I had on skinny jeans and I thought that would take away all my street credibility. So I kind of held in my tears. But honestly, guys, I thank you. And I don't think you understand how much I'm going to honor and appreciate you tonight, because I didn't know that this existed when I was a kid. The only thing I had ever seen promoted that was going to be adopted was a dog. And when my mama told me at 7 years old, like, you were adopted, I asked her, well, Mom, am I a dog? She was like, no, you're not a dog, you're my angel. You're my angel. You don't even understand. I chose you, you're my angel. Yeah. So during the dinner portion of our event, CCAI has prepared a slideshow to showcase all of tonight's honored angels. You can also spot them easily at your tables by the special design angel pins they're wearing. Now, I encourage all of our guests to meet some of the angels tonight and listen to their stories. Every one of us in the room, whether a seasoned veteran in Washington or a child of an angel honoree of his or her first, or maybe your first trip to Washington, can be inspired and learned by somebody's story. From what I've learned today, I realize that there are more people who are willing to adopt, who's going to push the envelope. We're going to raise money, we're going to raise awareness, and we're going to make sure that every child around this country and around this world has a safe home to live in. Indeed. If you believe it, yeah, put your hands together. That's good. Indeed. So I was watching some of the children, and I was like, wow, like, it's just so amazing to see a child with their mother. And then I encountered a lady who just adopted her daughter about 2 years ago. And literally, when I heard her passion for her child, I thought about my mother, so I gave my mom a call, and I said, Mom, they're honoring people like you. And she was like, you know, I told you she's from Louisiana, 75 years old. She's like, what they honoring me for? I said, well, Mama, they're honoring you because you adopted me. She said, boy, be quiet. It was an honor to have you in my life. And so I'm sitting there with skinny jeans on, and I couldn't cry at that time again. But it's just amazing that even though you may be honored today, the true gift may be that you have a child, that you love that child, or you've given to a child. And I really, really, really want to tell you how much we honor you. That's the 4th time I done honored you in like 3 minutes. It's just because I ain't never seen this in my life. Now, speaking of the amazing passion for this cause, the executive director of CCAI, her name is Becky Wyhan. Go ahead and make some noise for Becky. I was sitting with Becky today, and she was like, well, I started serving, and I was in one position at one time, and then what do you know, an opportunity presented itself, and I became the executive director in 2014. And that talks about consistency. Can everybody do that? I know you may be eating, but can you say consistency? Yeah, consistency. This young lady was in the right position at the right time. She had the right passion for the right situation, and the right situation found her. So Becky is committed to moving CCAI and its programs like Angels and Adoption forward to impact and influence communities across the world. She has invested substantial efforts in educating members of Congress on both the needs and incredible potential of children and youth without families, and bringing those same members of Congress together to protect these children and plant them in families. Would you all do me a favor and make some noise and show some love to my sister from another mister, CCAI's Executive Director, Becky Wyhan. You look amazing. You look amazing.
Thank you. Well, good evening, angels. On behalf of the Congressional Coalition on Adoption Institute, it is my honor to welcome you to the 19th Annual Angels in Adoption Gala. First and foremost, congratulations to all of our honorees. We have 107 angels in adoption from across the nation here with us tonight, who've been recognized by their members of Congress for their extraordinary work in child welfare. Your noble efforts championing children in need of families and adoption are the reason we've gathered here tonight to celebrate. You inspire CCAI in our year-long efforts to improve federal policy so that every child knows the love and support of a family. We were created in 2001, and CCAI occupies a unique position. We connect the voices of experience and expertise on adoption and child welfare to those who are in the positions to influence federal policy, members of the United States Congress. In fact, we were created by members of Congress because they understood the need for this institute. One of our greatest privileges at CCAI is to spotlight real-life stories of children, youth, families, and advocates in the halls of the United States Congress. Just in case you think the Angels in Adoption program is just one-night event, I'll share with you a little bit of its scope. In 2017, the angels that are here with us tonight now join the ranks of over 2,600 angel honorees from the past 19 years. They've been with us in Washington since Sunday, and our staff and volunteers have coordinated 10 events, including an additional 74 meetings with members of Congress just today. We'll share a highlight reel a little bit later to give you a glimpse into the past 3 days. Tonight, you're going to meet some of the leaders of the Congressional Coalition on Adoption, Congress's largest bicameral, bipartisan caucus, and our co-chairs, Senators Blunt and Klobuchar, and Representatives Franks and Lawrence, embody a distinctive and powerful partnership. They're unified champions of the importance of the family in the life of a child. You're also going to hear one of the stories of an angel in adoption honoree from Virginia. Ollie took a leap of faith into the realm of family, and it led to transformation in his life and in the life of his sons. Ollie, your passion is contagious, and we're honored that you're here with us tonight. And yes. And we're thrilled to introduce everyone to this year's National Angels in Adoption, Scott and Tracie Hamilton. Tracy, your genuineness and passion are such a light. And Scott, your openness to share your family story and your fight for health are an example of grace and strength to us all. And everyone in this house tonight is cheering you on. Along with tonight's wonderful national honorees, you're all in for a treat with entertainment by another CCAI National Angel from 2001, Stephen Curtis Chapman. His wife and fellow Angel Award recipient, Mary Beth, also joins us this evening. And yes, we love you, Mary Beth. And together, you two have faithfully exemplified advocacy and impact for children in need of families throughout your efforts at Show Hope. To tonight's MC, Willie, welcome. The freedom with which you share your experience as an adoptee also exemplifies the spirit of the Angels program, and I'm really looking forward to having you at the helm tonight. I'd like to briefly share a few highlights of CCAI's exciting work in our other core programs. This week, many of you met alumni of our foster youth internship program, which is a major part of our domestic child welfare efforts. Each of the interns spent time in foster care growing up, and they later spent a summer interning on Capitol Hill advocating for foster care reform based on federal policy research while they were in our program. I'm pleased to announce that one of this year's interns, Jamisha, had her policy recommendations introduced in the Fostering Academic Information and Resources Act by Representative Brenda Lawrence. It's a great example of how one story, one life, given access to the halls of Congress, can make a difference for so many lives. In our global diplomacy, we work to ensure that no child lingers in an orphanage because of policies that do not allow a future with a family in it. CCAI looks forward to designing delegations to China and Guatemala, where we'll engage national leaders and members of Congress in collaborative learning on the importance of family care. We are committed to establishing partners and identifying resources for these efforts because we believe that together we can make a difference in policy and practice worldwide. Our congressional champions have several legislative strategies that they are advancing domestically and internationally. And our angels this week have learned about how to engage in these important conversations. On a night like this, we celebrate the gifts of adoption and family. And it's important to express gratitude to all who enable CCAI to fulfill our mission. To our partners, many of you who are seated at these tables hosting our angels, we are deeply honored by your continued financial investment in our mission. As a small but mighty organization, every penny counts. Yes, that's true. And I really want to express my personal gratitude to our volunteer board of directors and our advisory council. I'm so grateful for your service. The talented staff working behind the scenes deserve special recognition. Taylor, Lindsay, Martina, and Jimmy, it's a great honor to work alongside of you all. One more special thank you to all of our dear friends who volunteered this week, including our foster youth intern and Angel in Adoption alumni, all of our Angels Hill Day leaders, and the policy team at Arnold and Porter. We treasure your support. I want to thank everyone for joining us in this celebration of our extraordinary Angels in Adoption. I hope you enjoy the gala program tonight. God bless you all. And now it's my honor to invite to the stage the 62nd Chaplain of the United States Senate, Dr. Barry Black. Chaplain Black has served 27 years in the U.S. Navy before joining the Senate as a counselor and spiritual advisor. He is the first African American to hold the office of the chaplaincy, and I have been privileged to sit in his office, and I really appreciate your faithful support to the Angels in Adoption program. So I invite him to come and share an invocation with us all.
When our MC walked out, I asked the lady at my table, "Who is he?" And she said, "I don't know." When he started talking, I immediately recognized the voice. And I said, "I know this voice. I know this voice. Who is he? Is this senior citizens disease hitting me?" And Willie Mo Jr., I am a big fan of your radio program. And what an amazing spiritual outreach you have on 104.1. I listen to you every day. So we're very, very blessed to have him as our MC. The lady who now knows who Willie Mo Jr. is, she said to me, "Should I eat my salad before your grace?" And I said, "Of course," because I thought of a biblical prayer for those who have started eating before they remember to pray. And the biblical prayer states, "Bless the Lord, O my soul, and all that is within me. Bless his holy name." Let us pray. Eternal Creator, sustainer of the families of earth, we thank you that adoption was your idea. Because of your love for humanity, you devised a plan to enable people who were born in sin to become your sons and daughters. Lord, you created a circle large enough to include the lost, the lonely, the last, the least, and the left out in your family. We praise you for CCAI and Angels in Adoption. We thank you that they seek to continue your work of enriching families by unselfishly searching out and reaching out to children who live on life's margins. Oh God, we praise you that we can do your work on earth. Remind us that our children are not our children. They are the sons and daughters of life's longing for itself. They come through us, but not from us. And though they are with us, they do not belong to us, but to you, O God. We can give them our love, but not our thoughts, for they have their own thoughts. We can house their bodies, but not their souls, for their souls dwell in the house of tomorrow, which we cannot visit, not even in our dreams. Give us the wisdom to strive to be like them, for you said, unless we become as children, we cannot enter your kingdom. Remind us, O God, that we are the bows from which our children are sent forth as living arrows. The divine archer sees the mark on the path of the infinite. He bends us with his might, that his arrows may go swift and far. Let our bending in the hands of the divine archer be for pleasure, as we remember that even as he loves the arrows that fly, so also he loves the bow that is stable. Bless our food and fellowship. Provide a particular blessing for those who reach out to strengthen our national foster care system. We pray this in the name of him who said, "Let the children come to me, and forbid them not, for of such is the kingdom of heaven." Amen and amen.
Indeed. Thank you, Chaplain Black. We honor and appreciate you, man. That was good. I'm for real. Sometimes I wish my voice was just a little deeper. Like yours, like that would have helped me a lot. I got this little voice, this little body, this little suit. But God is good, man. Once again, show your love to Chaplain Black. We honor and appreciate you. Yeah. So family, are you having a good time? Yes or yes? Yes or yes? Good stuff, good stuff. Family, with so many people across the country, not aware of our mission, it's important tonight, if you're using social media, I want to make sure that you really push the angels of adoption. Like, I want you to use that hashtag, so when you're taking your selfie, because ladies, you look amazing. Yes, you do. You're looking good. You are looking amazing. I want to make sure that you use that hashtag and make sure that the nation knows what we're doing here just across the world. Can you do that for me? Yes or yes? Indeed. Good stuff. So I have an esteemed privilege to introduce tonight a multi-Grammy Award winner, Dove Award winner. Yes, I had the opportunity to hang out with him and his beautiful wife, Mary Beth, today. And can I tell you, they were a part of me crying in that room today, but I couldn't cry because I had on what, ladies and gentlemen? Skinny jeans, right? So they were a part of this whole thing because they honestly have such a heart for adoption. They have 3 daughters, adopted from China, and in 2001, CCAI, the National Angels in Adoption, they honored them. But Steve and Mary Beth, I would say, are the epitome of what I want every family to look up to in terms of getting a child, loving the child, letting the nation know what they're doing, and then not only just doing the work at home, but starting a nonprofit and doing more work, right? Not just sitting around saying, okay, we have our 3 no more. They're still going out there advocating for children like myself and other children across the country, so I honor and appreciate them. They're recognized as global advocates for vulnerable children. Stephen and Mary Beth founded their nonprofit, Show Hope, which, just like CCAI, is dedicated to breaking down barriers that exist between waiting children and loving families. What an impactful team the 2 of them make. Family, can we start showing our love already? For my brother from another mother, Stephen, Curtis, Chaplain, and I'm gonna sing background. Come on. I love you, brother.
Thank you.
Good day.
Thank you so much. Thank you, Willie, and thank you all for being here tonight. This is beautiful. This is just, there's so much beauty about what is happening in this room tonight. And I was thinking about that as I was sitting there thinking about coming up and singing this song. So much beauty that exists because of and out of broken stories and brokenness. This wouldn't be happening tonight were it not for things that aren't as they should be. But then when we engage with those things, and especially when we engage in those things out of a passion and being compelled by the love of one who came for us and to us in our brokenness and in our hopelessness and the beauty that can come from that. I mean, Willie Moore Jr., today we were with Scott Hamilton and his bride Tracy, and being honored tonight. 2 beautiful stories, beautiful people impacting the world, and yet their stories only are known because someone engaged in that brokenness and said, I'm going to love you. I want you to be a part of my family. And that's what this room is full of tonight. Well, one thing that exists because of me and my bride engaging in brokenness and things not as they should be, 2 little girls who were abandoned in China without a name, without a future, without a hope, and God allowed us to be a part of their story and allowed us to be their mom and dad and their family. Stevie Joy and Maria, when they were about 3 years old, one night trying to tuck them in bed, just trying to be a daddy, but they weren't doing what I needed them to do. They kept putting on their princess costumes, and I wanted them to put on their pajamas. And they were having so much fun, and I was having 0 fun. It was no fun for me, because I just wanted them getting their pajamas. I had work to do. There was still more to do, and but they were intent on going to a ball. And so finally, by the time I finally got on my pajamas and I was talking like this, and I said, get in your pajamas, go to sleep. And so they asked me to tell them a story. So I told them the story that night was 2 little girls went to sleep, the end. That was it. That's all they got. Anyway, some of you can relate. You know where I was. It was not a pretty thing at all. And I'm embarrassed that I'm even having to tell you that. But even out of that, after I finally got them in their bed, I wrote this song, realizing that these were moments that I couldn't get back, and I didn't want to miss more of these moments. And so I wrote a song that night to help me remember, to savor the moments that God gave me with my little girls, and a song that wouldn't exist except for the beautiful miracle of adoption that God has allowed us to be a part of. This is Cinderella. She spins and she sways to whatever song plays, without a care in the world. And I'm sitting here wearing the weight of the world on my shoulders. It's been a long day and there's still work to do. She's pulling at me saying, Dad, I need you. There's a ball at the castle and I've been invited, and I need to practice my dancing. Oh please, Daddy, please. So I dance with Cinderella while she's here in my arms. 'Cause I know something the prince never knew. Oh, oh, I will dance with Cinderella. I don't want to miss even one song. 'Cause all too soon the clock will strike midnight and she'll be gone. Well, she says he's a nice guy and I'd be impressed, and she wants to know if I approve of the dress. She says, Dad, the prom is just 1 week away, and I need to practice my dancing. Oh please, Daddy, please. So I will dance with Cinderella while she's here in my arms. 'Cause I know something the prince never knew. Oh, 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 I will dance with Cinderella. I don't want to miss even one song. 'Cause all too soon the clock will strike midnight and she'll be gone. She will be gone. Well, she came home today with a ring on her hand, just glowing and telling us all they had planned. And she says, Dad, the wedding is 6 months away, and I need to practice my dancing. Oh please, Daddy, please. So I will dance with Cinderella while she's here in my arms. 'Cause I know something the prince never knew. Oh, 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 I'll dance with Cinderella. I don't want to miss even one song. 'Cause all too soon the clock will strike midnight. But I know the truth is the dance will go on. Thank you so much. God bless you.
We take a selfie.
Yes, yes, yes. You want to take
So let's fix this, Steve. Steve, you sound amazing. I want to take a selfie with you.
Okay, all right.
If you don't mind, can we take a selfie real quick? My mama,
Okay,
my mama gonna flip.
Never mind this. Y'all just talk amongst yourselves.
You know
while we
what?
do
Honestly,
this.
honestly,
Yeah.
this is what I want them to do.
Oh.
I want them to take a selfie,
Okay,
and I
all
want them to
right,
use the hashtag. You ready?
All right.
You got it?
Yeah, we got it. All right.
Okay, guys, listen, before you have dinner, I want you guys to do the same thing. I want you to take a quick selfie, if you don't mind. Ladies, your makeup is looking flawless. Beyonce. Fellas, you look fresh too. But I want to make sure that the nation knows exactly what we're doing, and I want to make sure that they do it. What's the hashtag? Hashtag Adoption Angels. Hashtag Adoption Angels. Hashtag Adoption Angels. Okay? So I want you to use that hashtag. So I see a few selfies in the back. There we go. Steve and I, we also took ours. That's good stuff. You got your selfie? You good? You take one? There we go. You look amazing. Indeed. So we have dinner. It is time now for us to serve the meal. We still have a few more amazing guests who are going to come up. I'm encouraging you to do this. If you have angels at your table, make sure you get a chance to know them, hear their stories, and make sure that you use the hashtag Adoption Angels. Yep. Check 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yes. Indeed, indeed. Family, I hope that you are enjoying your meal. I've seen a lot of amazing selfies being taken. The hashtag has over 17 people using the hashtag, and we are excited. So as you continue to eat, what I would ask you to do is turn your attention to the stage, because I have the privilege, it's my honor, to introduce to you one of the leaders of the Congressional Coalition on Adoption Caucus, U.S. Senator Amy Klobuchar. Now, yeah, go ahead and make some noise for her. I had the esteemed privilege to hang out with her a little bit today. Now, she hails from Minnesota, and we're proud to have her as one of our extraordinary, passionate, and dedicated congressional champions. Let me just say this woman has the passion that we need to make sure that the world knows about adoption. And meeting her today, I looked in her eyes and I knew that things would change if she would be in anything that she would do, everything would change, because she was going to work hard. Throughout her entire career, she has used her position to speak up for our nation's vulnerable children and give them a platform of their own. She, along with the other 157 members of the Congressional Coalition on Adoption Caucus she leads, are vital components in maintaining the caucus' impressive position as the largest bipartisan caucus in the nation. Make some noise for that. And make some noise for that. She is responsible for making sure that all parties are able to become a part of this amazing cause. Seated in this room tonight are both members and constituents with different, opposing political beliefs, but all coming on one accord. But what unites us all is a commitment to provide permanent homes for children in the need of a loving family. And it takes great leadership, don't you agree? Like that of Senator Klobuchar. Family, if you could, I want you to put the forks down for 2 seconds. Just 2 seconds, 1, 2. And put those hands together for my sister Amy Klobuchar. God bless you. I love the dress. You look amazing. God bless you. Indeed.
Willie, you're doing an incredible job as the MC, don't you think? This is great. And I'm so honored to be here with my friend Roy Blunt down there in the front, looking at his notes, getting ready. The Senator, we work on this work so much together, and it's so important to both of us. And I also just wanted to do a little shout out to my 2 angels, Nick and Murray. They're out there with their little boy, John. And this story, their Minnesota story, is a story like we hear over and over again. They went out of their way to adopt their son. He was a Syrian refugee in a Lebanese refugee camp. And they went there for what they thought was 3 months. They stayed 11 months. And my favorite part of the story, which I told some of the angels yesterday, is they were worried that maybe they were going to be turned away on the plane. So they put him in a red, white, and blue sweater, and he made it home. We all know that you're here because you believe that every child deserves so much more than just a roof over his or her head, that they deserve loving homes, nurturing families, and bright futures. And that's why we are so honored to work with Becky and the rest of the staff at CCAI. They are incredible to work with, and it's something that motivates us every single day. Honestly, as you all know, the numbers on the international front, the numbers have been going down over the years. And Roy and I really see this as an opportunity to really renew our commitment to adoptions, both domestic and international, and get those numbers up again. Let's get that done. I would love to come back next year and say that we've done that. And we have some bills that we think could work. I see my friend Mary Landrieu, my mentor on this work, right out there. Together, we passed a number of very important bills in this area, and it made a difference, and we want to keep doing that. So I have a big honor tonight. And I will tell you, I think you all know that the world has changed a lot. We've had a lot of tumult in Washington, up and down. I had the memorable moment of losing my title as the most famous Slovenian American on Inauguration Day to Melania Trump. That actually happened. She was actually born an hour away from where my relatives are from in Slovenia. And as I noted at the National Prayer Breakfast, every time I look at her, it's like looking in the mirror. But one thing, that's pretty good. The president was sitting right there. But there's one thing that has not changed, and that is the commitment to these incredible families and angels. And every year, the stories just keep getting more amazing and more inspiring. And I have to say, the people I'm about to introduce, I have never met quite a family like this. Ollie Cantos and his 3 sons. Are you ready for this? We'll call them my 3 sons, okay. So 7 years ago, Ollie Cantos, a DC lawyer in Washington, DC, learned from a friend at his church that 3 boys, Leo, Stephen, and Nick, needed someone to mentor and to guide them. So they were all born, these 3 triplets, with Ollie's exact same medical condition, which results in blindness. So what are the chances that 3 10-year-old Colombian-born triplets, all with the same condition, would be just around the corner from Ollie? You have to believe in God and faith to know that something like that would happen, but it did, and they were brought together through their church. Ollie knew that the similarities that he shared with the boys, from having faced bullying to needing a support system, would help foster a positive connection. So he stepped in to fill that mentor role. And as their relationship grew, mentor to mentees, he decided to really step up his involvement and take on joint custody of all 3 boys. Over the past 7+ years, Ollie has developed an unbreakable bond with his triplet sons. He has brought structure, love, and opportunity into their lives, and the boys are thriving. This is an amazing story. All 3 are active in school, church, and community service. They've all spoken to thousands about their condition and the importance of adoption. Now at 18 years old, Leo, and they're really smart, by the way, Leo and Stephen aspire to become attorneys, and Nick wants to be a businessman. And listen to this. All 3 will soon be spotlighted as the first blind triplets ever to earn the Boy Scouts' prestigious rank of Eagle Scout. That is a true story. It's just amazing. I especially love this story because my husband has 5 brothers, and I always say 5 of the 6 became Eagle Scouts. That's a true story, but I never like to say which one didn't make it because I don't want to embarrass my husband. But these 3 guys, I'm going to tell them when I see them tonight, they made it. Clearly, Ollie, their dad, is so proud of them, and you can just see it when you meet him and you talk to him. And we know that these 3 boys couldn't be happier to have him in their lives. So please join me in viewing this short video and then welcoming to the stage one of our angels in adoption, hailing from right here in Washington, D.C., Mr. Ollie Cantos and his 3 sons, Leo, Nick, and Stephen.
When you find out people who can do certain things, even though they might be blind or whatever, deaf, wheelchair, who cares? It makes no difference. They're just people.
Thank you so very much, everyone. Let everyone within the sound of my voice or the sight of my lips take heed. At this very moment, I ask each of you to think of your own personal story. Who believed in you? Who was or were the individual or individuals who saw in you what you may not have seen in yourself? When you think of the roles that such persons have had in your respective lives, you and all of us know the inherent truth that entails, namely, that every single human being on this earth is deserving of an opportunity to succeed to the greatest levels possible. Leo, Nick, and Stephen and I are closer than words can describe. When I first came into their lives and when they first came into mine, things were extraordinarily difficult. None of them had long-term friendships among people at school. All of them wanted to be accepted, but all of them were victimized by bullying. All of them knew down deep that somehow they wanted to reach greatness, but they wondered what the possibilities were to attain that greatness. They wondered how it could be that they could someday grow up to do great things with their lives. But when we came into each other's lives, things transformed for all of us. When I became their dad, it was the most amazing moment in my life. I knew that my sons, Leo, Nick, and Stephen, could grow to greatness. I knew that they could ultimately be of service to the world. And I knew, as they grew and came into their own, that they themselves would move forward to higher leadership more than they ever could have originally imagined. But what does this say? Not only about our family, but about all of yours. It says that no matter who we are, that each and every child is deserving of a loving family, a permanent family, a loving home. So we ask you this day, not only to think about the past and to tell your stories, but to continue to expand the work of CCAI in every respect. We ask all of you to continue to build the cause of adoption, to enable families to come together so that the children who want to come home will have a place to come home to. To ensure that once adoption takes place, that they are to receive the services and supports that will enable all of them to grow and to succeed as we all know to be possible. And as we do this, and as we look at the talents and abilities not only of today's children, but of all the children who are born each day, each representing talents and abilities and skills that will change the world, imagine that tonight, as we rededicate ourselves to this great work, we will be able to advance the ideals of adoption for every child. So Leo, Nick, and Stephen, this tonight is your moment. This is the evening when I told you at one point that someday the world would take notice of the inherent value that you have as individuals. And tonight, from the acknowledgement that you have given them, that dream has come true. God bless you, everyone, and together we will continue to build this work, and we will advance the cause of CCAI at every opportunity, and together we will transform the world. Thank you so much.
Indeed. Once again, family, show some love to our brother Ollie. Woo! Woo! I definitely couldn't dodge that tear. Indeed. What an amazing story. And I don't know about you, but I just feel like everybody in the room now is challenged to do more because of his story and all that he had to endure. But how many of you all know this, that your location is not as important as your direction, right? Your location is not as important as your direction. Right now, you may be in a place where you're like, wow, you know what? I want to do more, but how do I do more? What I'm challenging you to do tonight is just start moving in that direction. Just start praying about it. Just start thinking about it. Just start speaking in the right direction, because more children need our help. And I'm personally challenged because I have 3 biological children, natural children, and as I'm sitting there watching him, like I'm asking the Creator, I say, like, I'm literally thinking, is it time now for the supernatural, right? Is it time for the supernatural children? So as you sit there, challenge yourself and say, like, ask the Creator, can I do more? Can I do more for children across this world? And I'm sure that he can. That challenge will be yes, you can, right? Indeed. Once again, show some love to Ollie. Indeed. Wow. So this belief that Ollie and all of our local angels so beautifully embody is the driving force behind the Angels in Adoption program and CCAI's mission, right? What I find striking about this organization is how their focus is on giving others their platform and access. This week alone, over 100 angels were welcomed to Capitol Hill, coached in how to share their stories, affirmed and encouraged by the CCAI staff, and given multiple opportunities to connect with congressional leaders. The Angels in Adoption program and its participants boast on astounding lists of accomplishments, many of which Becky shared with you earlier in the evening, but there are a few more that I really want to tell you about. There's the Foster Youth Internship Program. These programs both serve as central aspects of CCAI's work as a nonprofit in Washington, D.C. Now listen, over the past 14 years, CCAI has placed over 200 foster care alumni in congressional internships so they may share their stories. Make some noise for that. Indeed. And in 19 years, CCAI has honored nearly 2,600 Angels in Adoption awardees from across the country. Show some love for that. Indeed. Now, for CCAI, it's all about real lives, real stories, and real impact. It's clear from what we've seen tonight that CCAI works diligently to ensure the members of Congress that they have the information that they need from the experiences of true experts to draft sound adoption and foster care policy. This model of leadership developed in platform sharing in a powerful city like Washington, D.C. is really a rarity. There are so many things that we think about in this country and the decisions that you have to make every single day. But just the fact that you would come into a room and that you would share your focus and help CCAI in what they're doing, it's an honor to have you here tonight, and we really appreciate you. It shows the integrity in Washington, D.C. Give yourself a round of applause. Yeah. Now, the reality is, this work would not be possible without your support. And here's one example why. There are more than 425,000 children in the U.S. foster care system on any given day, including 112,000 children who are available today for adoption. And as you can see, that number has gone up since 2014. There were 108,000 in 2014, and now we're already up to 112,000 children. On average, these kids will spend 4 years waiting for an adoptive family. Statistics show foster youth are less likely than their peers to graduate from high school, to go to college, to get a real stable housing and get stable employment. The work of CCAI seeks to change these statistics through policy designed to root children in great families and ensure better outcomes for the nation's foster care children. It's clear to me that CCAI really is a small but powerful organization with a formidable mission. Their Angels in Adoption program alone demonstrates the power of a small team accomplishing big things. Don't you agree? Indeed. Just think, this week alone, their team has worked tirelessly to organize networking events, congressional recognition events, legislative seminars, dozens of Hill Day meetings, and more. Ask anyone at CCAI, and they'll tell you that they do all that they can for the children in the community and across this world. Still longing for family to call their own. And I honestly take it personal when I see an organization like CCAI taking a personal touch with every single child. I had the opportunity to meet one of the foster care children who had the opportunity to literally come here and intern, and in just 2 years, now she's been placed to be, permanently working in Congress with the leader that she's been appointed to. And that shows a lot about what they're doing. Through tonight, go ahead, you give that a shout. Yeah, I love that. Through tonight, we celebrate many amazing achievements in the world of adoption. There's still so much work to be done. I encourage you, consider joining CCAI in the fight. It is remarkable the dollar-for-dollar impact that can be seen when passionate individuals like yourself partner financially with CCAI. Just a $50 donation could change somebody's life. Even better, a $100 donation to this program. 55 Angels in Adoption in DC, that would allow them to experience an amazing program. Now that's huge. For me personally, I'm not playing Mr. Baller, and I'm doing well for myself, but $100, we spend that on frivolous stuff. But if we give it to a cause, a little helps a lot. So I'm challenging you to do that tonight. And for $1,000, our foster youth intern an entire spring and a summer experience. And for $25,000, let's go to $25,000. Now, I go to an amazing church. We call it Black Church. When you say $25,000, the organ will go, and it'll go boom, 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 and you go boom, 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 boom. So I'm not asking you to shout, but for $25,000, your donation translates directly into CCAI's ability to lift up the people and stories you've heard tonight and give more children, youth, and families access to Capitol Hill, which creates a domino effect of positive legislation change. I was talking to my brother Scott, and he showed me all the tape and all the red tape he had to go through to get his child. But if we can keep this in the face of Capitol Hill, we know that we can change this thing, and we can streamline this thing, and we can make sure that children can get in homes a whole lot quicker. Indeed. Honestly, family, every gift makes a difference, no matter the amount. Found in your program books are cards, envelopes, and pens, which can be used to make a financial contribution. Please take the next moment, do me a favor, to grab one of those, fill it out, and I want you to dig deep. I want you to say, I want to sow a seed, because to be quite honest, somebody sowed a seed into my mother. And because of that seed, it happened to be a doctor that told her the option of adoption, and he helped her with gas money to get to the place. And because of his seed, I stand here today in front of you. And so you don't know where your seed is going. But my favorite book says that one plants, one waters, but the Creator gives the increase. And I believe that if you dig deep and you say, you know what, I'm going to sacrificially give to this cause, that you're going to see the long-term benefit of your seed tonight. Indeed, make some noise for that. Yeah. Honestly, we hope you give generously. If you're online, if you want to do it online, I'm challenging you to do this. Go to www.ccainstitute.org. That's CCAinstitute.org. And what you're going to do is click Make a Donation. It's the button on the home page, and you just simply make your donation, okay? Good stuff, good stuff. So I want you to take a few minutes. I want you to grab that pamphlet. I want you to grab that pen, and I want you to make that donation. Indeed, I want you to take a little time. For those people, I don't know your metaphysical orientation, but my wife and I, we've been married for 12 years. When we're about to make a donation, I kind of look at her because she always do more than I'm thinking she's gonna do. And I just say, babe, what did the Creator tell you? And she said, well, what did he tell you? I was like, well, he told me 1,000. And she'll say, well, I heard 2,500. And I always look and say, the devil is a liar. But she always wins. So fellas, I'm encouraging you. If she says a higher amount than you thought you were gonna give, just say yes, because the long-term benefit is a smile tonight, and you won't be in the doghouse. Amen? So dig deep, family, fill that out, and I know that you're gonna do your best because I know I can trust you to do that, all right? And speaking of generosity, our next presenter definitely embodies that description. Jack Gerard is the chairman of CCAI's board of directors and the CEO of the American Petroleum Institute. You busy, bro. Let's just say that. You are really, it says it on the script. I said that myself. I said you were busy, and it says it on the script. He's a busy guy in this town, but he makes time to lift up CCAI's mission, and he cares so deeply about it. Family, can you show your love for my brother Jack Gerard? God bless you. Indeed. I knew you were busy. God bless you, my friend. Thank you. Thank you. Indeed.
Let's show Willie a little more love for what a great job he does. And I think also to Senator Klobuchar, to Ollie, Stephen, Nick, and Leo, thank you very much for your inspiration tonight. What a remarkable story. Now, as an adoptive parent and a longtime supporter of the CCAI, I'm also grateful to see each of you here this evening, supporting the Angels in Adoption program and celebrating with each of us once again the work of all our angels. I want to emphasize how remarkable the achievements are of this small organization, and particularly how important financial partners are to what the CCAI does and is able to accomplish. In order to preserve the integrity of its work with Congress, CCAI does not accept any government funding. This means that every dollar that CCAI receives comes from a partner, whether it be an individual, a foundation, or a corporation. Those who see the value of the work done by our great group and have chosen to invest in our mission. So I can't emphasize enough how important each of your individual donations are to the CCAI. Quite literally, the work cannot get done without your generosity, and we greatly appreciate it. This year, over 70 partners, I believe that's a new record for us, have stepped up to make the dream of a family a reality for every child. Let's hear it for our partners. Our partners amplify the voices of foster children on Capitol Hill and around the world. They help eliminate policy barriers that prevent or delay children from finding a family. And by supporting CCAI, they demonstrate their personal and corporate values to shareholders, to customers, and to their employees. A list of our partners is available in your program book. I believe it's on page 3, and I would encourage all of you to take a look at that and to thank those at your tables who have made this possible tonight. Now, we have a number of representatives of our partners that are here with us this evening, and I would like to extend our appreciation and gratitude to you and to all of our partners. At the American Petroleum Institute, we're very proud to invest at the partner level, the platinum level, in CCAI's work. And I'd like to offer special recognition tonight to our other platinum partners who give $50,000 a year or annually to our program. Let me mention their names. I'd ask you to hold your applause till I mention them all, then we'll give them a round of applause. The Carlson Family Foundation, the Dave Thomas Foundation, and the Greater Washington Community Foundation. These are our platinum partners. Let's give them a round of applause. And another group of generous sponsors are gold partners that I'd also like to mention tonight, who give at least $25,000 a year to this very noble effort. First, Arnold and Porter, the American Beverage Association, Susan Neely, who's a member of our board. Thank you, Susan. Jones Lang LaSalle, who's with us this year for the first time, has been very generous. The Jockey Bean Family Foundation, Legacy Collective, the Luzerne Foundation, Retail Orphan Initiative, Walter S. Johnson Foundation, Laura and Doug Wheat, who are members of the board as well and very generous. And last and certainly not least, Willie and Corey Robertson, who are also on the board. Thank you for your generosity. Let's give them all a round of applause. Now, as you heard Willie just a moment ago, and if you're not yet a partner of CCAI but have been inspired by tonight's program, we would strongly and sincerely encourage you to join our efforts, and we'd welcome you aboard. As our foster youth interns make their way to your tables, I want to offer a special thank you to our colleagues on our board of directors and also the members of our advisory board who are here tonight. Their generous contribution of not only resource, but of their time and their talent makes this great organization possible. So thank you to the board and to our advisory council for your great work. Now please enjoy a video highlighting all of our angels in adoption work for the past 3 days, for the past 3 years, 3 days. Just wanted to make sure you were listening.
are so excited you're here with us in Washington, D.C. today. The Angels in Adoption program, we call it our signature public awareness program. We really want to elevate stories of adoption and help people understand that you can be a really normal, average person and you can make a difference in children's lives.
Sitting down with a woman who's deciding whether or not adoption is right for her, I want her to get a vision for her child's future that is one that is in a direction that she chooses, and she can be involved in that choice. It empowers her.
You all are here, brought your stories to Capitol Hill, and I want to let you know that they really matter. Do not be afraid to go to members of Congress, congressional staff. They love you. They are so excited that you're here, and they will truly take your story and want to make a difference from your experiences.
So that's what you all are doing, and that's the legacy that you guys are walking in this year, and we're really, really excited that the legacy continues to grow. We have 2,500 angels in our 19-year program history, and you all are, there's 107 of you, plus all your family and friends and colleagues, so we're really excited about that this year. We love you guys.
Now I'd like to introduce our next presenter, who's a member of the CCAI Advisory Council since 2009, has been a longtime leader on adoption policy in the United States Senate. Senator Roy Blunt hails from the very same state as our MC Willie tonight, the great show-me state, the state of Missouri, and has led efforts to facilitate international adoptions, to enhance child welfare, and to make the adoption tax credit fully refundable so adoption is more affordable to families. Senator, thank you for that. He is well known by this community at large and also by his colleagues and constituents alike for his tireless champion for children and his fierce friend and ally of CCAI. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Senator Roy Blunt of Missouri. Roy.
Thank you, Jack. Willie Moore, Jr., great to be here with you, a St. Louis guy, two Missourians here on the program tonight, and good for me. I was with Willie today for a while, and he was explaining his mom and dad and all they had done for him, and it was a great story to hear him tell it. And by the way, thanks to all the angels in adoption for being willing to be here, to be willing to share your stories with others. There's not a single person here who said, we're going to do this so we can be recognized as an angel in adoption. But why you're here is so we can share with other people what you do and how you've done it, and the inspiring stories. I had a picture taken earlier today with many of, well, I guess that was yesterday, with many of you, and in particularly the picture I had taken with Ollie and Leo and Nick and Stephen. You could just feel the vibrations of how much they meant to each other and how much adoption meant to them. And I am glad to be here. Amy Klobuchar, a great partner in this. We were understudies for a while of the wonderful Mary Landrieu and Jim Inhofe, and nobody better. nobody better to work with in the Senate than the three of them, and Becky and her team. What a great job they're doing. But what I get to do tonight is to introduce to you the CCAI 2017 National Angels in Adoption, Scott and Tracie Hamilton. Their adoption story begins in 1958 in the all-American Midwest town of Bowling Green, Ohio, making the long journey from Bowling Green through a professional career, a career as a professional athlete, cancer, an Olympic gold medal, their wonderful marriage, the birth of 2 children, then a brain tumor to deal with, the joys of life, and somehow all of that led them to a little town in Haiti. And Tracy today shared in another meeting I was with their Senator Corker, the story of how her heart was touched as she thought about Haiti. On the journey, Scott and Tracy were fostered by their strength, their faith, their love for each other, and finally in 2014, they became adoptive parents, adding 2 kids to the kids that they already had to make their family complete. It'll be evident to you pretty quickly that their story is an extraordinary one. They have known challenges that would accompany life generally and adoption specifically, the frustration of international adoption that so many families have felt. But finally, in 2014, they brought home another son and another daughter from Haiti to Nashville to be part of who they are every day. It is a great thing for them to do. You know, as an adoptive dad, I can tell you that Charlie Blunt has done more for Abby and I than we could possibly ever do for him. I can't imagine all the things he's brought to our life or what we'd have, the things we wouldn't have without him. But Scott pretty well, he said adoption is one of the greatest things to do in life because it's logical. Doesn't always seem logical. I'll let Scott explain just how logical it all is. But let's join me in watching the video of Scott and Tracy as they tell a little more of their story.
Whenever I start a speech, I talk about if I had to write a personal ad, you know, what would it be? If I had to be 100% honest, and it's short, bald, half-neutered, chemoed, radiated, surgically repaired, retired male figure skater of unknown ethnic origin seeks a beautiful, intelligent woman for long walks, laughter, and interest of my hobby of collecting life-threatening illness, right? It's wild growing up as an adopted child. Is it a case of being unwanted or chosen? And my mom always made me feel chosen.
I'm Tracie Hamilton, and I'm originally from Jackson, Tennessee.
Tracy and I were talking about family. It was like, I'm probably gonna be the biggest pain in the neck to her. Well, when you wanna have a family and you're diagnosed with testicular cancer, it's rather inconvenient.
And we got pregnant with Aiden on our honeymoon.
2 years later, Max was born. You know, we're blessed. With 2 children, we've gotten past all the medical hurdles. We don't really want to have another child, so we're good. I arrived into the orphanage, and I got out of the bus, and the first thing that happened was Eveline walked up, and she put both arms around my waist, and she never left my side for 2 days. And everybody's going, what is this? I had all these very paternal instincts about her. And with Jean-Paul, I mean, he's this great kid. I mean, he's smiling all the time, he's happy, he's athletic, he wants to play, but he's just this really good kid.
So we get off the plane, I turn my cell phone on. I have a message from Haiti. It was Jean-Paul. And the emotion I felt when I heard his voice was the emotion of a mother desperate to get to her child. I knew at that moment that was it. we are supposed to adopt these children. I never went into this adoption, and I know Scott didn't either, thinking, oh, we're gonna rescue these kids. It's gonna be so amazing and beautiful and easy, and we're all gonna live happily ever after. And it's just, we knew the challenges that would come.
Adoption is one of the greatest things that we can do in our lives. To give a child a home and love them and bring them up and give them chances. It's like, yeah, I mean, it's logical. It was a gift I was given. The least I could do is give that as well.
So join me in welcoming Scott and Tracie Hamilton.
Thank you.
Oh boy. We had to go after Ollie and his boys. You know, I'm sitting here and listening to all this. It truly is extraordinary. Growing up in the sort of the secular world of figure skating and just sort of navigating, you know, all of that. This will be the first time I've ever stood up in front of any crowd and said, God gets all the glory. Being adopted at 6 weeks of age, I like to say that I remember it like it was yesterday because I knew nothing else. That's the only family I've ever known. And to know that my mother, who would lose children at birth, desperately wanted to raise a big family because she's a nurturer by nature. And to see the family that she built and how beautiful she did it, beautifully she did it, and to grow up knowing that I was chosen. She told me something really wild when I get teased. I was always the smallest kid, believe it or not, in my class. And whenever I'd get teased about being the shortest or being adopted, my mother, who was very strong, she just said, next time they tease you about being adopted, just say this. So I waited for it. I was armed to the teeth. And all of a sudden it came out, well, you were just adopted. And I said, yes, I was adopted. My parents chose me. Your parents got stuck with whatever came out. Losing my mom to cancer was the darkest day of my life, but I realized that day that I was going to do everything for the rest of my life to honor her in everything that I did. And my life has been completely overachieving, obviously. But when it came time, and he showed it was our time, when we met those two beautiful kids that you saw in video, we knew it was time to bring them home. Anytime there was a hurdle, anytime there was something that we just didn't feel right about, it was removed. It just wasn't there. The day that we got denied, we both burst out laughing. Because we knew it wouldn't hold. And sure enough, 2 days later, we were back in the game. I'm gonna let Tracy talk because she is the heart of this family. You know, we look at the knockdowns in our life, and I'm telling you that I would not have met the love of my life had it not been for cancer. God directs our path, and sometimes he has to hit us over the head in order to get us where he wants us to be. And so due to that knockdown, I met the most beautiful soul and the woman who saved me. And I am so grateful for her, because without her shattered heart for the country of Haiti, she's been 26 times, we wouldn't have this. I mean, we put the fun in dysfunctional, okay? We are a crazy group, and when God moved us to Nashville, it was an interesting time, because one of the first people we met were Stephen Chapman and his family, and man, what he's done for adoption is like nobody else. So let me present to you the kindest, most compassionate, beautiful soul I've known since my mother. And we get to share this life together, Tracie Hamilton.
Well, I just first want to say how honored and grateful and humbled we are to be here among all of you. And Becky, thank you so, so much, and all of you on the board of CCAI, and just for this honor, because it is something we don't take lightly, and we're with you in this from now on, and it's been such a blessing to get to be with you and to be inspired by all of you that I've met these last 2 days. These have been two of the most inspiring, encouraging, hope-filled days of my life. I am overwhelmed, and my heart is so full, and I have so much hope that I get to leave here and go back to people who come to us who talk about wanting to adopt, and we get to encourage them now more than ever, after having been here and hearing about this work and learning about this work and knowing what all of you on the Hill are doing for all these vulnerable children, and to help families who want to adopt, to make it easier for them. So thank you so much for all of your commitment and your dedication to this work, because it is truly awe-inspiring. And we just have always been on the ground and working with families and trying to help any way we can. But now I know, like, it is so much bigger than I even realized, and to know that people are advocating in our government to make things easier and to make things better, it is so comforting and so hopeful. So I thank you, and I thank you for this award and for this beautiful night and for all that you're doing. Thank you so much.
Wow, wow. Once again, the Hamiltons, ladies and gentlemen. Yes, indeed. You can do better than that. Come on, put them together, put them together, put them together. Listen, I tell you what, I've had an amazing night, and I'm sure you have too. Family, there's still so much work to do. Every single one of us, we have an individual call in this thing. And tonight I want you to, honestly, I want you to make it personal. I can remember on January the 6th, 2009, January the 6th, 2009, January the 6th, 2000, I love DC, you're smarter than a fifth grader, all right? On January the 6th, 2009, that was the day that I quit my old life and started ministry. I had some guys that were about to come over. My wife thought it was an amazing idea for me to meet my biological family, because I was adopted when I was 3 months old. And my wife, I love her. And I try to listen to her. And I hate to see her leave, but I love to see her walk away, right? So I said, I'm gonna go ahead and follow my wife's lead. Laura Winters at the Missouri Home Society, she called, she said, Willie Moore Jr., we found your mother. But unfortunately, she just doesn't want to meet you. It's the toughest day of my life. But in that moment, I realized that the Creator had already given me everything that He wanted me to have on this side of heaven. And I began to say, you know what? Willie J. and Flora Moore, you are my everything. After the Creator, I honor you and I appreciate all that you have done. And I remember looking at Mom in the face, and I said, you'll live forever. I'll make sure of that. So, from that day, I now call it the best day of my life. Because that was the day that I made a decision. That every child without a voice would have a voice. That every platform that the Creator would allow me to have, I would do my due diligence to make sure that the nation knew about the 112 now thousand kids who were available for adoption here in the United States of America. And for me, it's personal. But what's your story? How can you take this thing personal? How can this be more than just another gala that you go to and in the morning you deal with the normal rigmarole of life? I know how. That in this moment right now, I'm challenging you to make it personal. And for every child under the sound of my voice who's been adopted, or maybe you sometimes feel that insecurity of, why me? I want to let you know that God didn't make a mistake when He made you. Children come from the Creator, they just come through parents. And you were planted and you landed exactly where you were supposed to be. Indeed. I must say, family, I personally have an amazing mission that I have to do. I would love to see African American families represented in this room a lot more. Yeah. So, going into 2018, I understand that content is king. And so our production company and our radio show and this television show that we have on BET, like, we're gonna start producing faith-based content to bring light to adoption in a very cool way. We're gonna take stories, we're gonna take stories like the Hamiltons, who I love to life, and Steve and Mary Beth, I need your help, I wanna see you, I need your story. And we've been blessed with social media to touch over 20 million people with a click of a button. And so we're gonna put those stories out into the atmosphere. And my personal goal is to target African American families who are doing well and say, listen, I need you to get involved. Hispanic families, I need you to get involved. I need all people to get involved, right? To say this, some people say we saving for a rainy day. I say it's raining, right? And so family, I'm admonishing you and I'm asking you to keep me in your prayers as we build this faith-based content. For CCAI, I honor you and appreciate this amazing opportunity and all that you've done. Becky, you're so awesome. I appreciate this opportunity. Indeed. You can make some noise for Becky. Indeed. And the whole staff, can I say this? It's only 3 of them in volunteers, just 3, 1, 2, 3, this whole thing, 3 people. I wish I could get 3 people to do more work. I got too many people on payroll right now. I think when I go home, I'm gonna do some firing, but pray for me, okay? No. But you guys have done an amazing job. My prayer is that you will bring me back. I would love to come. And 2018 is going to be an amazing year to push the envelope to make sure people never forget all those children who need homes. For those people tonight, honestly, I gotta catch a flight because I have to head back to my hometown of St. Louis, Missouri. There's a lot going on in the school system with all that's going on in our city. So I'll be in the Ferguson-Florissant School District talking to children tomorrow morning, making sure that they understand that we got to stay focused on education because that's what's going to get us out of this situation, right? Yep. So I would love to stick around and take a lot of selfies, but I got to go catch a flight in the morning. So what I would ask you all to do, honestly, I want to stay in contact with you. I would like for you to just, maybe send me an email of just encouraging words, because this work get hard. Like sometimes I'm thinking to myself, don't you get it? We need homes. And, my diploma read Ferguson-Florissant School District. I ain't always been this suit guy. Sometimes I want to say, don't you know these kids need homes? You pray for me, okay? But it gets hard sometimes, and an encouraging word will help a whole lot. And so if you want to stay in contact, just email me, williemoorejr1@gmail.com, williemoorejr1@gmail.com. Again, williemoorejr1@gmail.com. I honor you all for this amazing opportunity. I pray you had an amazing night. When you see this logo, I want you to give like you've never given before. Love your kids, because every child that has nothing deserves something, and that something is a family. I'm Willie Moore Jr. God bless you. Yep. Yep. Okay.